what we speak into our children is very important, in their upbringing, because one thing can stick with them their entire lives.
Yeah, like with BTST, and in social work, we have this theme called meeting you where you are. It's a common social work practice that you try to eliminate the barriers in service delivery. So we go in the home, we go in the community, we go in the school to bring services to the individuals that we service. And what you're doing with this music conference is pretty much the same. You're meeting them where they are. You're bringing it to them, because before, people would have to get lucky to go up to an A&R studio, an office in New York and perform, and they still weren't getting the knowledge. They were just, whether they liked you or not, you would perform and then you would go.
Yeah.
You didn't come back any smarter, any sharper.
Yeah.
But you're meeting people where they are, bringing the information to them to help them progress.
Absolutely, and maintain a relationship with them. So most of the people who come to the conference, even though it's thousands of people, they stay in contact with me via social media, and some of them, have direct contact with me, and we kind of build, and I kind of give them my energy and my point of view and my perspective on the things they're working on. It's basically building a family and a community, because I grew up in a real musical community. I used to work at Red Zone Studio in Atlanta, and I'd be in one room, and Carrie Hilson be in another room, and The Dream would be in another room, and we were all coming up. Nobody knew us.
Yeah.
Sierra used to come and take me to the store. Sierra was the only person with a car, and she was in high school, and I would say, yo, Cece, take me to the store. She'd drive me up the street to the store. Jazzy Faye was in another room. B-Cox in another room. T.I., I remember seeing him at the Where the Party at remix video, shoot him jumping out of Riviera, old school Riviera, like 16 people, it seemed like jumping out of it. Young Jock, me and Trey Songz performing in showcases, me and B.O.B. performing in like, this was a real musical community. And a lot of people don't understand that the advantage we had, being able to grow up in the business, being young adults and teenagers, growing up actually inside of the business and being able to build and learn from each other, and hearing people learn about being a suspension on their publishing deal, and learn about somebody not having enough points and not getting I'm a 4-point producer and I should be a 6-point producer, and you're learning, like you're sitting up in around successful people and you're soaking up this information. A lot of people don't have that opportunity, and they don't have that advantage. So what the We Love Music Conference is a way to give all the information and experiences I had to a group of people who are hungry and eager, and then letting them know that collectively you guys are what we were. You're the same. Yeah. These group of people are going to be able to say years from now, yeah, we're together at the We Love Music Conference. We linked up, and we started traveling together, we started writing together, we started developing together, and we formed our own community, and I think that's important.
Nice. That had to be a fun time back in Atlanta doing that time,
Man, it was incredible, bro. At the time, the struggle was so real, but I always tell people, man, struggle is much easier when you don't have kids, So I respect people who struggle that same way with children, but we had no cares, man. We really were just grinding. I remember when Carrie Hilson was in a group called Pretty Tony, and they were looking for writers to write for her, and I wasn't even nobody, and they invited me to come sit in and watch them perform. And Carrie's performing in this group, and I'm thinking to myself, that's the star right there.
Yeah.
And then years later to watch her develop, or watching performing with Usher. Usher took me on a tour, and I'm performing with Usher in Chicago, and I look backstage, and it's Jay-Z, Tata, and R. Kelly standing backstage. And Jay come and say, yo, come here, let me holler at you. I think you should do this, and you should have him break the music down. And, you know what I mean? These are things that was going on, and things I was able to see. I introduced Sierra to Usher. You know what I mean? Like when she was first coming up, I remember saying, oh yeah, take me to Usher's house. And because she had the car.
Yeah.
So take me over here, and then come upstairs, you can meet Usher, I can meet Usher. Yeah, come on. And to see everybody's elevation, to see where we were, is an incredible place to be. Jazzy Faye was our mentor. Brian Michael Cox was our mentor. Chris Hicks, Noontime. These were things we had the opportunity to see. And I'm not going to say it's a disadvantage to the youth because they have the internet, but one-on-one mentorship is unparalleled.
Yeah.
You can't compare that to much.
No, I get it. With one of our parts of our program, it's called PRP. We do that one-on-one mentorship, but it's kind of like from a therapeutic approach. And you get the best results, like being able to infuse day-to-day, learning how to do that. You learn from other people, and then it's different than a group setting. But as a creative person myself, like I'm just still startled by the amount of stardom that was in that area and how the creative juices had to be flowing, man.
It was crazy.
I know when I get around people, that's creative. I just get in my zone, man. I lock in. We don't even know what time it is.
I remember when Rocco And my man Ja, who went away for 11 years, Rocco was a real drug dealer. You know what I mean? Rocco was known in Atlanta for being a drug dealer, a big time drug dealer. Like this wasn't no, you know what I mean? I remember like Monica being Rocco's wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she was big Monica, but Rocco, I remember seeing all these things and watching guys develop their skills and really work hard at it and work to be good, really good at it. And living the things that they were talking about. I remember when Young Scrappy had the biggest record in high school called Head Busters.
Yeah, I remember
This was
that.
one of the biggest songs in one particular high school in the east side of Atlanta. And it was just a song for their football team to come out to. We some head busters. And then Greg Street taking the record and Lil Jon hearing it and signing them. And then, you know, it was an entire movement. And there's stories I could tell you for days and days of so many different artists. I remember when Jaquan first had the one, here come the two to the three in Atlanta. And that was like a kid from St. Louis who because of Nelly, doing so well, and that's why it's important people understand the importance of breaking some out of Baltimore. When Nelly did so well, and Nelly was best friends with Jermaine Dupri, that Jermaine Dupri went to St. Louis looking for acts, and he found Jaquan, and then was able to break him. And, you know, it's a lot of things that transpired that were before my eyes, and there's so many stories that I have and things I could tell people that'll help them in their journey, and that's what this is about.
Yeah, people see success now, but they don't correlate it to the work that had to go into it before, the humble beginnings. Like I was listening to the Jermaine Dupri Rap Radar interview when he was talking about how Little John used to be an A&R working in his studio and all this other stuff before he was the regular DJ before they called him Little John and all that stuff, before the OK and all that other stuff.
Yeah, Lil Jon's from a very predominantly successful area in Atlanta. His parents was like doctors. He drove like a Mercedes to school. He was like a good kid. You know, I'm not saying he ever portrayed himself to be otherwise, but he was just like a good guy, you know, from far as I know. And he created a sound. He created crunk.
Yeah.
Like he created, well, I'll take that back. 666 Mafia created crunk. The sound is crunk. But I think that what Atlanta did was package it up.
And they put out so many different artists doing
it. And they created a consistent sound. And it was only 666 and 8-Ball MJG in Memphis. So what Atlanta was able to do is the hustler mentality of anybody in Atlanta is different because there's so much more competition and it's so close together, yet so far apart, because you got the east side that's like this, you got the west side that's like this, you got the south side like this. So all these people were kind of like battling within their own selves and then battling the other side of town. So it kind of made it a level of competition, yet at the same time camaraderie.
Yeah. So we talked about the Atlanta, we talked about Lil Jon and where they got their start, and you were just sharing with us a plethora of stories. But how did you actually get into it? What is your plight to success? How did you first get introduced to the music industry, and how did all that work out?
These guys called the Corner Boys. They were producing. I met them through Jagged Edge. My manager Cersei had took me over to meet Jagged Edge, and I met these young producers, and I begged them to work every day, like literally begged them to work, and they were like, "Yo, get out of my face. We don't even know you." I was like, "Yo, I could rap."
Was this in New York?
This was in Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm like, "Yo, I could rap. You should listen to me." And one day, I had never been in Magic City, and I'd always heard about Magic City. So one day, Twin and them, which is Brandon and Brian Casey from Jagged Edge, they were like, "Yo, we going to Magic. You want to go?" I was like, "Yeah." So I'm going. I'm getting ready to get in the car, and D-Town from the Corner Boys said to me, "Yo, we don't have nothing to do, so if you want to work tonight, we can work." So in my mind, I'm like, "Fuck Magic City, I'm going to work."
Yeah.
So I said, "No, y'all can go without me," and I stayed, and we started from like 9 p.m. to 12 o'clock the next day.
What exactly were you doing though?
Writing, doing songs.
So you were writing then?
I was rapping.
Okay.
So I was recording records, and I remember just nonstop writing records.
So could you spit?
Back in the day, yeah, it was nice. I was super nice. So
I heard
that was
you got
my
in the
main,
battles up in.
that was my main thing, was rapping. You know, every single day of my life. You know, writing 10 rhymes a day. That was my thing. So I ended up doing a bunch of records with them. We linked up. Now we were so close that I treated them like my brothers. I had a certain level. My loyalty is different. So anybody who would try to work with me, I would say, "Nah, you got to go work with the Corner Boys too."
Yeah.
So Corner Boys did this. Usher was looking for producers. He found the Corner Boys. A guy named Young Dirty. He introduced us to Usher to do these remixes. So that's when everybody's doing the remix albums.
With JD?
JD did a remix album. Puff did the We Invented the remix. J-Lo did a remix album. Everybody was doing remix
Who's
albums.
the best remixer?
Puff. Hands down.
Puff?
Yeah, hands down. So what it was they remixed the record for Usher, and I rapped on it. Usher heard me, invited me to perform at a showcase. After I performed, he signed me as an artist, and then my career kind of like, that's when the beginning of the beginning started. So after he signed me as a rap artist, I thought, yo, I should get $1 million and a watch and a car and a house, and that's what you see on TV. I was just like, no, bro, it don't work like that. So I was showing up to his office every day like, yo, I need money because you put me on TV, bro.
Yeah.
Now my family
I gotta upload this image now.
My family think I'm rich, so I need some money. So he said, look, I'll give you an opportunity to make your own money. And he gave me this track that Just Blaze produced. And I wrote this song called Throwback, which is the first song I ever
Confessions.
wrote. Yeah, it was on the Confessions album. That's the first song I ever wrote. And after that, when the whole artist thing fell through, I continued to write. Most people in the industry thought I was a fluke because everybody knew me as a rapper. Like I said, we was all community. So everybody knew me as just being a rapper. So people were like, nah, he got lucky with Throwback. And then I guess, obviously time showed that I wasn't just luck.
So that's great that you helped me with that one, because I was going to transition to you about the songwriting component of it as well. So as a songwriter, you're like behind the scenes, as the writer and the producer. Do you find that very fulfilling, especially when you also sing? So you have some of the same capabilities that the people that you're writing the music for.
The thing about my music is very specific. So when you listen to any Rico Love song, it's not many people who can do what I do or say what I say. Not can, but will. To have a record like Bitches Be Like, and they don't know, like nobody was talking like that before. If you really want to be honest about it.
You almost got me smacked. I was riding in the car jamming out too hard. I almost got smacked.
You're like, yo, why
what's going on over there? Yeah.
So I just think that it's a specific set of subjects that I do. So it doesn't kind of conflict me with records I do with other people, because when it's for me, it's some things that I know other artists won't say. Now they will, I think, because the barrier has been broken. And I'm not trying to give myself all the credit.
You're the trailblazer for that one.
Yeah, but I just know that nobody was comfortable saying that.
Yeah.
Nobody was comfortable saying they had a side joint publicly. Like, that wasn't like, it just wasn't one of those things. So I just think that Bitches Be Like, when certain records I would give to other artists, they were like, nah, I can't do that. That's against the girls. When I made Bitches Be Like, then everybody was like, I don't fuck with you. Like, it was like, people was like, oh, they felt free.
I need one of them tracks.
To be honest about, some of the things they saw. So it's not very difficult for me to kind of separate.
So I had this question planned before we got to talking about They Don't Know. Mm-hmm. So this is not a direct correlation for anybody that's listening. But where does your inspiration to write music come from? Is it your personal experiences? Is it other people's? Is it like where do you get?
For my projects, it's normally things that I've experienced, or my perspective or my take on certain things. For other people, it's like writing a horror film, right? I've never been in a haunted house, but I can watch a horror film.
You've never been in a haunted house?
No, not a real haunted one. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And what I mean is, like, we've never experienced some of the things that startle us or frighten us, excite us, but then we're intrigued by the story. So my challenge and my gift, I would say, is my ability to show you something that you've never experienced, and for you to say, wow, that's incredible, I never thought of it like that. Or to give you something that you have experienced and say, I never knew how to say it in that way. Or this is something I've dealt with and I didn't know how to put it in a way that's so layman, So may not necessarily be a direct experience, but it's my point of view, my perspective on what I think people see or how they view or how they feel about certain things.
I agree, because sometimes you feel these things, you can't articulate it. That's why I like that. We were just talking about that Everything Is Love album. And certain songs in there speak to exactly what I felt that I couldn't say, but then things that I never connected the dots, but I actually felt. So, question for you as well. When you write, do you write specifically for artists, or do you write and then send it out to people and say, hey, what you think about this?